any of you all who are really smart, well, I don't even know if you have to be really smart. Anyway, if any of you all ever had the assignment at any point in your educational pursuit, you probably come across a book by Alexis or Alex Tocqueville. I can't even remember the author. What's so great about America? Now, this is an immigrant who comes to America and sees wonderful things in his opinion and writes a glowing tale about all the great things about America. So I wanted to do the reverse. I wanted to do what's not so great about America. Because there's a lot of not so great things about this country. First and foremost, the citizenry. It sucks. Yeah, the citizenry in this country sucks. Big time. The majority, not even the minority, the majority suck. They complain nonstop and don't solve or even attempt to solve the problems that they complain about. When solutions are offered to the problems they complain about, they complain about the solutions not being adequate, feasible. So they complain about problems. Solutions are presented and they complain about the solution. The citizenry absolutely sucks. Horrible. Atrocious. The majority, not the minority. The majority of American citizens, they suck. They're awful. We haven't even gotten to behavior yet. We all know that's horrendous. Even though Americans think their behavior is up to par with civilized people, it doesn't even come close. Some of the most uncivilized, heathenistic savages that ever roamed the planet, even worse than republics and empires you have read about, currently reside in America. We had a president up until very recently who was credibly accused by at least 20 plus women of rape. And millions of Americans went out and voted for him. So, that tells you a lot about our citizenry. Right there. We haven't even gotten to the racism, the homophobia, the xenophobia, the occupying of other people's land. We haven't even gotten to that. That's definitely not great about America. Let's talk about the food. Shitty. It ain't great. Not American food. Other people's food that they bring that's authentic, when they try to Americanize it, it's shitty. But when it's authentic, it's really good. Like, have you ever had American Mexican food? And then you went and got authentic Mexican food. Don't lie. The American Mexican food was trashy. The authentic Mexican food, even it comes down to the chips, or the nachos. You go to an American Mexican place, the nachos will taste like something off the grocery store. You go to an authentic Mexican place, it tastes like chips from Mexico. So authentic ethnic food is good. American food, trashy. Burgers, butchering cows, chickens, awful. Just awful. You say they're trying to implement vegan options. It's 2023. Plants been on this planet since humans got here. In 2023, to tell me they're trying. See, you even said trying. Yeah. Absolutely shitty food. American food is absolutely shitty. That's why we have so many health issues as a society and country. Because of our diet. It's awful. Now let's get to people's attitudes. I try to avoid Americans at all costs. I can't stand their attitudes. It's horrible. They're negative 9 out of 10 times you run into them. When I used to go around them, you would get into an elevator. I'm talking about the common one. We have a few American friends, not many. You go into an elevator. Nobody speaks. You go into a business. Nobody speaks to you. Now, I've traveled enough to know that that's not normal. See, Americans think that's normal. It's abnormal. Abnormality is normal in America. When you go into a business anywhere else, they greet you. If it's morning time, good morning. Afternoon, afternoon. Evening, good evening. Americans don't say shit. Not that I would care whether they say shit or not. But it is a place of business. And you should kind of be happy that someone might partake in doing commerce with you. So you might want to greet them. Not Americans. Unhospitable. No hospitality. Many Americans, not all, this one doesn't qualify as majority, but many Americans, by the millions, wake up every day and go out of their way to be assholes towards their fellow citizens. Yeah, every day millions of Americans wake up and go out of their way to be assholes. I mean, they go out of their way, meaning they purposely act like assholes to one another. That's a purposeful choice. You know, like the dude that wasn't being accosted on the subway train with Jordan Neely? snuck up from behind and ambushed him and put him in a chokehold and murdered him. Went out of his way to murder someone. Wasn't defending himself. Wasn't in any harm's way. He went out of his way to murder somebody. Assholes. We got millions like that. Millions. It's what makes America not so great. For those of you just joining us, this is what's not so great about this hellhole called America. And yes, it's a hellhole. Remember when our former leader said Africa, certain nations, a lot of nations were hellholes? Remember how it looked before his ass took office? I know you all remember he said he was going to make it great. Do you remember how it looked after his ass left office? Before and after. Now, it wasn't the fanciest, most immaculate place before. But after, there were buildings on fire, graffiti everywhere. People angry and fighting in the streets, killing each other, ramming cars into people because they disagree with their political ideology. And we will make America great again. Oh, it's great again, baby. Oh, it's great. Good job. Kudos. It's great. It's definitely great. Yeah, it's great. So, assholes. People go out of their way to be assholes to one another. I swear sometimes it just feels like they see you coming. They're like, this person looks like they might be having a good time. Let me go and be an asshole to them. Especially men. Men go out of their way to be assholes. They go out of their way to be assholes. I hate to be a genderist, but this is something that I've noticed. American men go out of their way to be assholes. They're the worst. I can't stand them. They're the worst. Absolutely the worst. Their behavior is atrocious. American men's behavior is atrocious. Online and offline. It's not just the online shit. It's the offline shit too. What else we got? Oh. Things are overpriced in America. Yeah, things are overpriced. And I'm not even talking about inflation now. Sure, inflation is hurting everybody everywhere. But things are overpriced in general in America. They charge you 2 or 3 or 4 times what something is really actually worth. And they know they're doing that. So they make 4 or 5 or 6 times the profit. And then a select few people pay themselves hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses. And then tell you, this year, because of company issues, you're not going to receive your bonus. Or you're going to get a 2% raise. While I'm making or getting a $100 million golden parachute. And then they'll get online and tell you about the elites. The people receiving golden parachutes. They'll lecture you about how the elites don't like you. They'll be heirs to frozen dinner companies and lecture you about the elites in our society. So hypocrisy is something that's not great about America. And Americans have a real problem with hypocrisy. They say one thing and they do another. Oh yeah, they're the biggest hypocrites that ever roamed the planet, I think. There have been some big hypocrites that roamed the planet, but Americans take the cake. They're the biggest hypocrites. I'm not this, but they'll really be that. When somebody tells you, I'm not a monster, run. They really are a monster. Whatever they say, just always think the opposite with Americans. If they say, I'm not lying to you, they're lying to you. If they say, I felt threatened, therefore I murdered someone, they didn't feel threatened. They just wanted to murder the person. So, never trust or believe an American, ever. They're the most unscrupulous people who ever roamed the earth. Never trust an American. They are liars. Pathological, natural-born liars. If they tell you, we're not going to go to war with you, that day they'll probably start the war. That's how bad it is. You can't trust a goddamn thing coming out of their mouth. That's also what's not so great about America. That you can't trust anything that Americans say. Their word means nothing. It's worse than worthless. Their word means nothing. I know if they promise something, if they say they're going to do something, don't even expect it. That's why maybe is a huge phrase in America. Because so many people were tired of people saying they're going to do something, they not do it. So people started coming up with terms. Oh, you gaslighted me. You ghosted me. Yeah, new terminology. Me, I'm old school. No, they just lied to you. They're liars. Don't believe anything they say. They'll sign a piece of paper saying, this is a treaty. We're going to give you rights to your water. You know, they thieved the water from the indigenous people, the aboriginal people of this land. And then said, we're going to sign a treaty to give you your water rights. And then they tried to run a pipe through the land, on treated land. So you all remember the water protectors, right? They came out and they had to have beef with the federal government. They said, get the fuck off our land. Government came out with their guns and their jackbooted thugs and tried to put a pipe, the XL Keystone Pipeline. You all remember that, right? Tried to put a pipe through their land just after they signed treaties. Yeah, nobody, I'm telling you. Low down, dirty scoundrels. Look out for that low down, dirty scandal. It's an American. Yeah, so that's also not so great about America. Let's see, what else? Our political process is not great. Not at all. Yeah, I know they say you have representative government. But hey, don't certain people who represent you in government go out of their way to disenfranchise other American citizens? They pass all of these crazy restrictive laws trying to minimize who can participate and who can't. Generally, they don't want people of color to participate because America is only supposed to be for white people, specifically white property-owning men. Women, I know you won the right to vote, but you're second-class citizens now. You don't even have autonomy over your body. Your husband knows more about your uterus and ovaries than you do. So the political process, you have a bunch of people who write laws to disenfranchise people from participating in the process. So it's a mess. It's not great. It's atrocious. Yeah, I wish he had checked in with me before he wrote that book. I would have told him, have you seen this? Have you experienced that? Have you done this? You hung out with this group? He probably wouldn't have written the book. But oh well. I read it, by the way. I laughed the whole time through. I knew it was bullshit from the beginning. From the first word to the last word, it was bullshit. You know how it is. This is not representative of all immigrants, but of a large swath of immigrants who come to America. They come here and they say, I'm successful. I made it. I did it. I'm living the American dream. Now, many times, I'm not saying this is always the case, but many times, you can only make that claim based off of all the hardships, sorrow, grief, agony of people who were not afforded that opportunity. So immigrants come in and say, why is there so many problems with people who have been here for a long period of time? It's working out just fine for me. Yeah, because you don't have that layer of experience, that history. It's kind of like me going to a new country and I'm doing really well. And I'm like, why are so many people who have lived in this country for so long doing so badly? I'm doing really well. You're lazy, you people. You just don't want to work hard enough. Now, if I was really smart, maybe I would talk with the people before I make my own assumptions. Because if I talk with the people, maybe they would tell me, well, nobody wanted to hire me. They wouldn't give me a job. Congratulations, you got a job. Hey, everything that I do in my area is over-policed. Congratulations, you don't live in a community that's over-policed, where people drive around and criminalize everything you do, profiling you. Hey, congratulations, you speak proper English. They classify what I speak as, oh, I don't know, so many different things. So it's kind of like you got to touch base and actually talk with the people before you make an assumption. So many immigrants to America don't do that. They're just like, I'm doing well. The rest of you are bums. Deadbeats. Hey, and that could be the case. We got a lot of bums and deadbeats in this country. Also not such a great thing about the country. But a lot of that is manufactured. Meaning there's a lot of people that wouldn't have been that way had circumstances been different. You gotta understand that. Currency, the system itself, capitalism. You know, they say capitalism is the greatest system on earth. They'll tell you it's responsible for lifting up so many people out of poverty. Yet, more people in this country today are in poverty, severe extreme poverty, than a lot of developing nations. Yeah. More Americans in the richest nation on the planet Earth are impoverished than some Southeast Asian developing nations. You look at Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam. Yeah, they have poverty, but not at the rate of America. You look at Scandinavian countries. Yeah, they have poverty, but not at the rate of America. China, as they say. Did you all know that they eliminated extreme poverty for all of the Chinese citizens? There's 1.4 billion Chinese people. Under communism, they have managed to eliminate extreme poverty for a country 3 times the population size of our own. Extreme poverty is gone in China. There is now common prosperity. Have you all heard that? Are they reporting that on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC? Are they reporting that to you? Isn't that kind of newsworthy? Don't you think? Yeah. So our operating system is not at all equitable. There's no empathy component to it whatsoever. You either have the Benjamin or you starve. Yeah. So that's not so great. I know the people who are most comfortable in the system tell you how great it is. But hey, you live in a mansion. The rest of us, we live in the ghetto, the barrio, the reservations, trailer park homes. So of course some rich fucking dude is going to tell you about how great capitalism is. You live in a mansion with a private jet, bitch. Yeah, I think we covered the bases. There's probably a gazillion more things I could say about what's not so great about America. You already know racism. That's obvious. Homophobia, that's obvious. Xenophobia, of course. We've already exhausted that. Yeah, there's probably a zillion other things too. Hey, there's a lot more things that are not great about America than that are in reality. Truth be told. There's not too many things that really are great about this country. Somebody say this is very anti-American. It's pro the truth, though. Hey, they could turn it around. Prove me wrong. State point by point where I'm inaccurate. I'll wait. You know they never do. They just lodge claims of this is un-American, anti-American. But they don't dispute the actual claims and merits of what I state in the case that I made. Do they ever do that? No, they don't. They do ad hominem attacks. Absolutely, yeah. That's all they got. Substance, they're pretty light on it. Have you noticed? Now they have a cult. I guess we're supposed to worship some orange orangutan. The orange Cheeto, as they call it. A lunatic from Mar-a-Lago, as I like to refer to him. No, thank you. That's their cult leader. It's just like the last one. And the one before that. And the one before that. Have you noticed they always resemble the same type of character? Crazy, rapist, pro-murder, always angry, prone to violence. They pick some real winners. Mussolini, Hitler, Trump, Stalin. They pick some real winners, don't they? Real doozies, as they used to call them back in the day. So yeah, that's it, you all. I wanted to document what's not so great about America. Because a long time ago I read some stupid ass book about what was great about America. I laughed the whole way through. Because I knew it was bullshit then. But I wanted to wait to finally say what was not so great about America. Believe you me, I know. I've lived the nightmare. They say it's a dream. No, it's a nightmare. I think it's coming to an end, though. I really do. I really feel it this time. Somebody said we're possibly, somebody said we're possibly on the last leg of the American experiment. Remember, it's an experiment. This is true. It's been a horrible experiment, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. From George Washington to present day, it's been horrible. Somebody said they tried to do a little bit. That's debatable. That's truly, really debatable.